This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. This is Paige Gargioli. My business is Open Heart Holistic Therapy, and I am a EPT practitioner. EPT stands for Emotional Polarity Technique, and it's a totally different approach to emotional health care. Instead of relying on traditional talk therapy or medication, EPT relies on the science of forgiveness, and we use forgiveness to help heal these root issues that seem to be holding us back, whatever that might be. So today we don't have any particular client. I figured today maybe what we would do, since it's kind of a small group and I'll make a shorter video, we will do sort of a group surrogate type EPT, and Rob is going to be my surrogate here.
Hello.
Rob, I assume you're fine being recorded and
Absolutely.
and this being shared widely on the internet.
Not a problem.
Okay, great.
Hopefully the glare off my head doesn't blind people.
I think you'll be all right. So I don't, like I said, I don't have a huge plan today as far as what to work on, but for anybody who's watching this, what this is really all about is helping you heal whatever it is that's blocking you. So we'll see what's blocking me, or what's blocking Rob or Keitha or Linda, who are on the call with us right now, or maybe something just hits you while we're working and you're like, oh, that's me, or that's what I need, and I really need to work on this. So when we get to the part with the statements, just repeat the statements out loud. Take a breath. Listen to this like a meditation recording, whatever you need to get it into your subconscious so you can feel better. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to figure it out as we go. All right, so, and we'll make this a little bit, I'm going to try to make it shorter. We'll see. All right, so any ideas, anybody? Let's see. Any general complaints?
General complaints? No, not really. Something that's come up in my mind, my relationship with God is I've been doing EPT. That has come up, as my position has not been where it should be in like constellation. But
what do you mean? Like God is below you somewhere?
Trust in God.
Okay, trust in God. Gotcha.
Trust in God, God loving me, and that kind of stuff. Okay. Well, I guess I've got this, God doesn't, kind of.
Okay.
That.
I like that.
Imbalance.
I don't think we've really gotten like that kind of, God specific. So, especially, and I have to be honest, no matter where someone's coming from, when they do come into my office, like that trust in just the universe, God, whatever, the divine, that like kind of, I guess, letting go of that control can be kind of hard sometimes. So, and trusting that things will work out, but also being active at the same time. Like it's not like you just sit back and relax. Like you still have to do something, but yeah, Linda, letting go and trusting God. All right, let's do it.
All right. Take action.
Trusting God. And for anybody who's watching, if this is like too strange for you, you're not into God, you can also use the universe, spirit, whatever it is you want to use. Whatever, yeah. Like I said, most people who walk in my office are totally cool with God, so or at least okay with saying statements to kind of like let go into the ether. I don't know, wherever it's going. It's gotta go somewhere. Okay. That sounds good to me. All right, so let's do some rapport. So magnets, again, for anyone watching, when we're doing magnets, it's usually for balancing, adjusting, helping us be on the same page, and helping to heal better. All right, so ready? Breathe in. Yeah. Breathe in. All right. And then breathe in. Breathe in. And you'll notice I didn't have to explain anything to Rob because he already knows what he's doing. He's done this before.
One or two times.
But if you were doing this with an EPT practitioner, they might have to explain to you how to do that. Or they might just do it to you because you're in person. All right, so letting go and trusting God. All right, so distress, now I'm just testing, doing muscle testing with my hand, is I feel like a 7. 7 sounds,
Yeah.
it's not like off the charts bad, but
Yeah. I'm a little surprised by that number, but at the same time, not so much.
Elation is a 2. I think we would want that elation to be up. We want to feel elated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely want to be excited about trusting God, and because I know He has this intellectually.
Yeah, it's like up here, and there might be, at least I think sometimes there might be an elation with like not trusting God, where it's sort of like having your own control and
Got
like
this.
and maybe I don't know, it's gonna probably be different for everybody, like, but I do think sometimes there's something about being like I did it, like nobody else. Like it's a lack of gratitude and it's a little bit entitlement. So there's probably a little elation on that. So just keeping that in mind for myself. Yeah, there you go. Linda's got it. Pride.
Yeah, pride before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall.
All right. Stage of healing is a 3, maybe 2 or 3. But
Okay.
3 seemed a little bit weaker. I think it's more like maybe the bargain is I'll just do it. Like instead of being angry that things aren't working out the way that you want, you're just like, I'll do it.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
All right. All right. Telling the truth is weak. Work it in.
Okay.
1 issue. 2. Okay. And now we're gonna do the who or what. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
We'll use you. We'll see what happens. This will help everybody though. I'll keep it general or try to. Let's see.
That works. I'm an open book, so.
Okay. Liver, anger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's my anger.
That makes sense.
I'm putting anger with God.
Okay.
We're doing like a Lamentations kind of day, I guess.
Oh man.
All right.
Sounds fun. This is going to be interesting.
All right. Okay, so my anger at God because.
I'm not where I wanted to be, where I expected to be.
Yeah, I want to be like, everything just sucks. Like
Everything's going to hell in a handbasket, and
and why
here
am
I am.
Yeah,
why am I here?
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, my anger with God because okay, it's more like I'm not where I want to be, or where not
where I expected to be.
Not even like I don't. Well, yeah, that works. Not where I expected to be, not where I want to be. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
Okay. If something else, I mean, I honestly thought I would be in the middle of Siberia at this point in my life, so that
you could
fits.
be there if you wanted.
This is true. It's just one plane ticket away.
Yeah, not where I expected to be / wanted to be. It's pretty general.
Yeah.
It's a little presumptuous to be blaming God about it, though.
Yeah.
Anger at God because I'm like thinking, well, maybe it's like I must be here because I don't know if God wills it so much as it's just like I am where I'm supposed to be, you know,
Hmm.
and like how much or how much is it God's fault? I don't know. But like again, we're working on trust. Like this isn't like an exchange or something.
Right. It's
But we feel like it.
yeah.
My expectations are not met. That'll work too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well,
that's a good one actually.
which one? The
Uh,
expectations?
yeah, expectations are not met. That's good too.
I would go with that. Uh, I mean, it's all wrapped in together because earlier on in my life, I felt like I was following God, and I ended up back here in
Mm,
the States, and you know, not where I thought I was going to be, not working with the people that I thought I was going to be. You know, no,
hmm
I thought I would be working with kids in camps in the middle of Siberia, helping expand uh, an organization's nonprofits ministry.
mm.
So,
I know one in the Himalayas if you want to go there. Good one. Anyway,
no tip.
um,
Whitney might not be so excited about that.
no, not the Himalayas.
She doesn't like cold for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my desires are different than what God had. Okay. I like Linda's little comments here. Okay. Let's see. Is there an original? Yes. Because let's be real. We've felt this all, but we've all felt this before.
Mhm.
Or felt this at some point. It's just now it's all amplified. Um, uh, let's see.
I'm curious, when did this happen?
Um, hmm, um, yeah, well, and maybe it's just another aspect. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I'm getting 25 years old.
Uh, yeah, that.
I'm like first half, second half. Like I know some things about you, but I'm like I guess it's second half today. we're all mad at God very consciously in our adulthood. In our
25.
Okay, so 25. I felt. Let's see here. Let's see. Is it my feeling? Yep. My anger. Yep.
Hmm.
Okay, with a friend, not with God. Or
With a friend. Um, was it male or female?
I'm getting female.
Okay. Um, yeah.
Give me some names.
Uh, Tyrene.
That'll work. Who
Yeah.
else?
Mm, no, Tyrene.
Okay. Tyree, you're like, no, Tyree. Okay. You're
Oh.
rethinking this recording, aren't you? No.
Well, if she sees it, she sees it.
Oh well, it's nothing like. I mean, it's personal, but it's not personal. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
I'm here to let it go. I'm not here to hold on to it. I'm not here to. I'm
Right.
just like
Right. No,
witnessing the grudge to let it go.
and she's a friend, so that's.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
I'm sure she wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, probably not. Maybe a little bit.
Okay. Maybe a little. Okay. So my anger because what? Your expectations weren't met with this person?
Yeah, she didn't um, see how much I cared about her.
Oh, okay.
Um, let's let's go with that. She was my best friend in South Korea, um, and I tried to protect her from people who didn't have her best interests at heart.
Mm,
And yeah, she continued to hang out and be in relationships that were not good for her.
Okay, so it's like you had expectations for her.
Yeah,
Well,
I liked her. I'll
yeah,
be perfectly
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I'm gathering.
Yeah,
So it's like, okay, I'm also just like kind of connecting the dots, like for everybody too. I'm angry with my friend Tyrene at 25 because, uh, yeah, I mean, it's not that it's, it's more, I think, about an expectation,
hmm
maybe wanting to not being seen or heard, maybe.
yeah. Mm, I was her friend, but also like a background support
Okay.
type person for her. We went to
Ugh.
church together uh, and hung out with people, together. It was a small uh, English speaking community that we hung out with. And
Did she know that you liked her?
I don't think she had a clue, or she may have.
It's possible.
It's possible. We were best friends, both in a strange country,
Hmm.
dealing with a whole bunch of crap, really.
Yeah, and it's like not even, yeah, yeah. So, okay, so my anger with her because, well, I mean, I think there is a little bit of like she's making maybe bad choices. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
with
mean,
some of the guys,
what would be like your fill in the blank for my anger at 25?
just in general,
Yeah.
or in general, I'm a quarter of a century old. I'm in South Korea teaching English as a second language, which is not my strong suit whatsoever. High anxiety,
Yeah.
um, and doing this to get to Russia, but also frustrated. I'm and lonely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like but like with Tyrene though,
hmm
like that anger is just
I want to I want to hang out more. I want to
okay.
be really good friends, and
Okay, okay.
I think she she had
You
come
guys
off
just
a
go ahead.
bad breakup, and I knew to just keep my distance and be a friend.
Okay.
Uh, and her relationship with God was not all that great, and that was something, you know, I didn't want to interrupt her growth in that area at the time.
So I'm thinking it's more like it's like the anger is not that like an expectation would be like that you wanted something and it didn't happen, but it sounds like around 25 it's more like it's going in a direction you don't want, but you wish it would change.
hmm
Like it's like it's too early for an expectation to be lost. It's more like I see this going this way and I don't want it to go that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, that's a good summation.
um whether it's like the relationship, what she's doing, what you're doing, could be, could be,
All wrapped up into one. I mean, it's
yeah. And it's just like you're kind of seeing, you're looking ahead, and you're just like, this is not going the way that I want, and I feel just powerless to do anything about it except just say this is not going in the direction that I wanted to go in, and then that's it. Like
I give up.
yeah, yeah, okay,
I'm just along
um,
for the ride at this point.
yeah, okay. I mean, and we've done some of this with the COVID stuff. So, all right. So, let's do liver, red and red.
Red and red.
All right. And breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. All right. Yep. There's other emotions. Okay.
Of course.
Abandoned. Heart. abandoned
Yeah.
my abandonments. So in this situation, it almost feels like abandoned by God. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
that
Yep. Okay.
pretty much is how I
All right.
felt. So,
Okay. Got it. All right. Okay. All right. Um. Okay. It's gonna be green, green heart or blue, blue. All
all right. Yeah.
right. Okay. Breathe in. Yeah. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Okay.
I'm sure I'm not.
P2 trauma. I think we're all a little bit in P2. We're just like, just get me through.
Yeah. It is.
Okay. So abandoned by God. Yeah, I think it's just, it has to do with loneliness. What else? I mean, I feel abandoned by God because this isn't working out the way I wanted it to. My expectations are not.
My expectations, I didn't
Yeah.
expect to be in South Korea. I thought I would be working with my Paul figure at this point, and no one was in contact with me outside of my best friend and Whitney from back home.
Yeah, and that's the like, yeah, okay. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so let's do the statements for everybody and for you. All right.
Yay for headphones.
Yeah. And okay. And we'll just I'll even keep like Tyrene general as just a friend, and you can add Tyrene if you want, or if
That
anybody
works.
has a friend where they feel angry because they were going in a direction that they didn't want them to go in.
Yeah.
And feel powerless to change it. Okay. All right. So I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I have to be angry at my friends
I have to be angry at my friends.
or my friend
My friend.
when they're not going in the direction I want.
When they're not going in the direction I want.
And breathe. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I have to be angry with God
I have to be angry with God
when things aren't going in the direction I want,
when things aren't going in the direction I want.
because it must be God's fault.
Because it must be God's fault.
I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I have to feel abandoned by God
I have to feel abandoned by God
because I don't feel his love in the situation.
because I don't feel his love in this situation.
And I don't see how this is going to work out the way I want.
And I don't see how this is going to work out the way I want.
The way I want, yeah. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I can only trust God
I can only trust God
and let go of my anger and abandonment
and can only let go of my anger and abandonment
when things work out the way I want.
when things work out the way I want.
I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
If God won't make it work the way I want,
If God won't make it work the way I want,
I'll just do it myself.
I'll just do it myself.
I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
This abandonment and anger
This abandonment and anger
is my fault.
is my fault.
Because if I was going down the path God wanted,
Because if I was going down the path God wanted,
then I would feel happy.
then I would feel happy.
You're laughing because it's kind of funny. You're like, I guess what's going down God's path is happiness.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Jesus was crucified.
Yeah, had 40 lashes and a crown of thorns, and
Eek.
it wasn't all, rainbows, roses, unicorns, and
He just spoke, and everybody was like, "Yeah, he's right about that."
right, everyone got it right there on the spot.
And they were like, "Oh, obviously Messiah." Oh, sorry, bad jokes.
Oh no,
Okay.
it's perfectly good humor.
Okay. I forgive myself for. How about I forgive myself for believing?
I forgive myself for believing.
I also have to suffer
I also have to suffer
going down the path of God's expectations.
going down the path of God's expectations.
Breathe. So there's that too.
Along with that, I forgive myself for believing that Boulevard of Broken Dreams was my life anthem.
Right now, currently still?
No, not now.
Okay.
At 25, most definitely.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. And some people probably feel that way right now. I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
Whatever successes or failures I have.
Whatever successes or failures I have.
Are completely my fault.
Are completely my fault. Wow, the arrogance.
I know, right? I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I'm entitled to get what I want.
I'm entitled to get what I want.
Yeah. And feel good about it.
And feel good about it.
Yeah, right. Or I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I'm entitled to anger and feelings of abandonment.
I'm entitled to anger and feelings of abandonment.
And holding on to that anger.
And holding on to that anger.
When my expectations aren't met.
When my expectations aren't met.
Or things are not working the way I want.
Or things aren't working the way I want.
Remember.
I know I'm not the only one who's felt that way before.
Yeah. There's a lot kind of wrapped up. There's definitely a little bit of entitlement. It just sometimes with this kind of thing, it can feel so black and white. Like it's like we have a tendency for whatever reason to be very all or nothing, you know, and, like it's okay to be angry for some amount of time, but not forever. You know, it's okay.
How about this one? I forgive myself for believing that
Whitney's on here.
Yeah, I know. Saw that. I'm like, oh, okay, this will be good. Forgive myself for believing that holding on to this anger gives me control and takes it away from God.
Oh, there you go. That's good. Oh yeah. How about I forgive myself for believing?
I forgive myself for believing.
Feeling angry and abandonment, and abandoned is the only control I have.
Feeling angry and abandoned is the only control I have.
And the only way to get what I want
and
from
the
God
only way
or
to
anyone else.
Get what I want from God or anyone else.
Anyone else, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgive myself for believing.
I forgive myself for believing.
I can't tell the truth.
I can't tell the truth.
About the good things in my life.
About the good things in my life.
Or the failures that are my fault.
Or the failures that are my fault.
Without feeling angry or abandoned.
Without feeling angry or abandoned.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know. Failure is such a big word. I mean, as long as you're failing forward, I think you're going in a good direction. You're always failing forward, right?
As long as you learn.
Yeah, that's true. You got to learn, and yeah, that's true. Regrets are okay. You just got to learn from them.
Agreed.
Okay. It's heavy stuff. Okay. I forgive my friend
I forgive my friend
for hurting my feelings
for hurting my feelings
when they weren't going the direction I wanted.
when they weren't going the direction I wanted.
And yeah, I'm brief. I forgive my friend
I forgive my friend
for making me angry
for making me angry
when things when things weren't going the direction I wanted.
when things weren't going the direction I wanted.
And I
And
thought they could help me feel better about it.
I thought they could help me feel better about it.
Yeah. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
God or another person has to change
God or another person has to change
before I can feel safe, secure, and complete.
before I can feel safe, secure, and complete.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Yeah, breathe. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
my anger and abandonment
my anger and abandonment
that I'm holding on to from 25.
that I'm holding on to from when I was 25.
What was I gonna say? Like I want to say it can't change, or it's let's hear. Oh,
Justified, can't
yeah,
change.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm like. I was going to say it'll come back to me. Yeah, can't change, or
Can't
like
change.
I have to feel it still now.
It's like I have to hold on to it. I have to feel it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgive myself for believing my anger and abandonment from 25 can't change, and I don't have a choice to.
And I don't have a choice to
Oh,
let it go.
yeah, and breathe. How about I forgive myself for believing my choices don't matter,
I forgive myself for believing my choices don't matter.
and how because God will do what God wants,
Because God will do what God wants.
and it may or may not work out in my favor.
And it may or may not work out in my favor.
It'll work out in someone's favor. It may not work
It
out.
may not be mine, but it'll work out in someone's favor.
Mhm. Sometimes I think like when people are, they want certain things in their own life and they're like, why can't I get that one thing? Like, if I could only just manifest this one thing. I'm like, well, sometimes having that one thing is just taken away from somebody else, like sometimes, not all the time. And you not having it is maybe giving to someone else. So, hey, be grateful, right?
Yeah. It all works out, for the good in the end.
Let's see here. I give God permission to forgive me
I give God permission to forgive me
for blaming him,
for blaming him
for my anger
for my anger
and things not working out the way I want,
and things not working out the way I wanted them to,
or my expectations not being met
and my expectations not being met
when I was doing what I thought he wanted.
when I was doing what I thought he wanted.
Yeah, I'm brave. I love and accept myself,
I love and accept myself,
even when I'm afraid.
even when I'm afraid.
I'll do what I think. I'll be going in a direction I think is good,
I'll be going in a direction I think is good,
and it does not work out the way I expected.
and it does not work out the way I expected.
Yeah, I'm brave. Without this pattern, I am free
Without this pattern, I am free
to tell the truth
to tell the truth
about how my expectations do work out,
about how my expectations do work out,
and how and when and where God is with me.
and when and where God is with me.
Yeah, and breathe. With let's see here. I give my friend permission
I give my friend permission
for blaming her
forgive me
Yeah.
for blaming
Oh
her.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, to forgive me
To
for
forgive me
blaming.
for blaming her.
Yeah, give her permission to forgive me for blaming her for my anger
For my anger
when she wasn't going the direction I wanted.
when she wasn't going the direction I wanted.
Yeah, breathe. Without this anger and abandonment,
Without this anger and abandonment,
I am free
I am free
to trust and tell the truth
to trust and tell the truth
that that where I am
that where I am
is where I'm supposed to be,
is where I'm supposed to be,
and where I will be is where I'm supposed to be.
and where I will be is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, great. I guess and where I was where I was supposed to be, but
It's all where you are is where you are supposed to be.
I know it's sometimes hard
It's hard to accept. For
because
sure.
you have a finite power to go wherever or to do whatever, you only have so many options really.
Yep.
At least in this very moment. Yes, you could, I guess, buy a flight to Siberia right now, but I don't know how helpful that would be.
Yeah, whether they'll actually let me in, thing like that. Given this current
That's very true.
circumstances.
See, flight is not your fault. Let's see. Without this, let's see. Yeah, let's say without this pattern,
Without this pattern,
I am free
I am free
to feel safe, secure, and complete.
to feel safe, secure, and complete.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Letting go and trusting God.
Letting go and trusting God.
Where I am.
Where I am.
Yeah, breathe.
Without this pattern. Oh.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
have something?
Yeah, I've got something. Without this pattern, I give myself permission to trust God with where I'm at and where I am going.
Mhm. Uh, I'm just thinking, I'm like, without this pattern, I'm free
Without this pattern, I am free
to let go of my anger
to let go of my anger
and to trust
and to trust
when my expectations aren't met the way I hoped.
when my expectations aren't met the way I hoped.
Yeah, I'm breathe. Without this pattern, I am free
Without this pattern, I am free
to be present,
to be present,
uh, to doing the best that I can,
to doing the best I can,
yeah, doing the best I can. Yeah, and breathe. Without this pattern, I am free
Without this pattern, I am free
to trust God,
to trust God,
even when someone else's expectations aren't met.
even when someone else's expectations aren't met.
Um, from me.
From me.
Yeah, I'm free. It's something I think if you're doing like one-on-one type therapies with anyone, that's a thing you kind of have to come to terms with, that sometimes somebody comes in and like they just aren't they're just not like,
Yeah.
And being able to feel safe, secure, and complete in love, forgiveness, and happiness when somebody else's expectations aren't met that has something to do with you. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that is.
Because like I think it's the same, like you would think like even on like that sort of microcosm one-to-one relationship with a person, you could say the same thing about God. Like why I guess you're thinking, because God can do anything, God can do all that God wants, God knows everything, but like it's complicated, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like my part of the whole relationship. What does that look like? And is he trustworthy? Do I really feel safe, secure, and complete, and all that?
Like How about without this pattern, I'm free
Without this pattern, I am free
to feel safe, secure, and complete.
to feel safe, secure, and complete.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Being open to uh, being open to where God takes me
Being open to where God takes me
and how God can use me
and how God can use me
wherever I am.
wherever I am.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that that was a real good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I was just thinking, you know, what is it that I want? Like, if a client came to me, like, what I want from them is that same sort of openness to whatever is going to come up.
Right.
And like, I'm like, oh, I think that would be God too, right? Like, God wants us to just be open to love
Trusting Him.
and to just trusting and to riding the roller coaster, you know?
Yeah. It's like, I've got you, I'm your, seatbelt buckle, whatever, in this roller coaster. Just trust me. I've got you. You're
Yeah.
safe.
And even in EPT, it's like, yes, you might have a lot of emotions or something might come up that's uncomfortable. But you know, you feel it.
Yeah. It happens, and just trust the process,
Hmm.
as Dr. Annette says.
Yeah, God works on a very like large scale and small scale, but
Right. Oh, man.
all right. Without this pattern, I am free
Without this pattern, I am free
to feel safe, secure, and complete.
to feel safe, secure, and complete.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Love, forgiveness, and happiness.
Telling the truth
Telling the truth
about how God works
about how God works,
or doesn't work.
or perceived doesn't work in my life.
I think about, like, you know, that's not how the Force works. I'm thinking of Star Wars.
May the force be with you.
And that, yeah, and breathe. All right. Without this pattern, I am free
Without this pattern, I am free
to love myself more
to love myself more
and to be a better person for the people I love.
and to be a better person for the people I love.
Sharing what God has, or sharing
Share,
the gifts God's given me,
sharing the gifts God's given me,
and trusting I'll be where I'm supposed to be.
and trusting I will be where I'm supposed to be and be taken care of by Him.
Yeah. Without this pattern, I am free
Without this pattern, I am free
to let go of being my own hero,
to let go of being my own hero
or somebody else's hero,
or somebody else's hero.
Because God was always the one helping.
Because God was always the one helping, is always the one helping, and will always be the one helping.
Yeah. It's funny to think of God just helping. I'm just helping. Not like the actual like force that is making it all. You know,
Yeah.
a little help, a little help.
Yeah, what help? It's Jesus. Jesus coming in and healing the sick. All that. I'm helping.
I'm just helping a little.
I'm not calling down the angels yet. I'm just helping.
This is fun.
Oh,
I'm enjoying this. Let's hear it. Keith has got one. Okay. Without this attachment to expectations.
Without this attachment to
There you
expectations,
go. I am free
I am free
to thank God for where I am today.
to thank God for where I am today.
Yeah, we need some gratitude. Breathe in. Without this pattern, I am free
Without this pattern, I am free
to be more grateful.
to be more grateful.
In a tough situation
In a tough situation
that's not meeting my expectations.
That's not meeting my expectations.
And when things are.
And when things are.
Yeah, I agree. Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
Or how about one thing I'm grateful for?
I am grateful for where I am. I really am.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, and without this pattern, I'm free to be grateful and tell the truth of I don't know where I am, how I got here, and just thank God for it. I mean,
Without this pattern, I am free to tell the truth and be grateful for where I am, how I got here, and what is in my life. And for EPT,
yeah.
to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I mean, harder stories make good stories anyway. Make better stories anyway.
This is true. Definitely gut wrenching and a lot of energy movement for sure.
Yeah. All right. Without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To feel gratitude and joy.
To feel gratitude and joy.
Looking back where we've been.
Looking back where I've been.
And where I am.
And where I am.
And and just rewriting.
and rewriting. I want to say excitement for where I'm going.
Yeah. So without this pattern, I am free.
Without this pattern, I am free.
To have more trust and hope.
To have more trust and hope.
For the future.
For the future.
Because of where I've come from.
Because of where I've come from.
And instead of that like fear and anxiety for the future because of where I've come from, I have more excitement, joy, and gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I know like I'm here now in the present and I can look back and go, oh, it was tough, but it was good. And then I can go, instead of being like upset about it until I get to that point here in the future, here's the present, here's the future. Instead of like being like, oh, this is hard, my expectations aren't being met, everything's terrible, and then I get here and I look back and I go, oh, it wasn't so bad. I can enjoy it
too bad.
now.
Yeah.
Now I can enjoy that. I can feel joy. I can have hope. I can have trust.
Yeah. No,
I can tell the truth. Because
I can tell the truth about what's going on right here and now and what happened in the past.
Wonderful. Thanks for being my let's retest. I'm getting ahead of myself. I feel like I can keep going. Okay, okay, so letting go and trusting God. 0 is good for me.
I like 0.
Okay, elation.
Stress.
And elation 8. I think that's nice.
7,
stage of healing. Tell the truth and let go are good.
Sweet.
For everybody who's watching and enjoying our wonderful little session for everybody. Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome.
Did it feel like it was for everybody or for you only?
Oh, for me, but also for everybody too. I mean, it's like I know I'm not the only person who's dealt with this.
Yeah.
And kept it general enough to be, very much everyone. But definitely personal things came up. It was like, dots connecting.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead.
Goes.
Thanks again, Rob. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. But thanks for anyone who watched. Have a nice rest of your week, day, whatever.
Hope it.
Stop.